Hi guys, welcome back again. Wanted to bring you up to speed on something. I was talking to Prepper Tribe the other day about the garden. We were comparing notes, and I was telling him how good the rabbit manure did, and he said, man, just plant something in all rabbit manure. And I'm like, that'd be a really cool experiment. So, the watermelon and cantaloupe that I grew from seed, I just planted watermelon and cantaloupe, and I also planted 2 things of okra. There's one and there's the other. These 4 buckets are 90% nothing but rabbit manure, a little bit of straw that was in the pile, my compost pile, and just a touch of potting mix that I had left over just to kind of retain some moisture. So these bad boys are planted in nothing but rabbit manure. Now that's an experiment that was 100% Prepper Tribe's idea. So we're going to see what happens. It's a cold fertilizer. Supposedly it doesn't burn the plants. So theoretically this just means they got a shitload of nutrients, and hopefully they should grow crazy fast. Quick update on my cooling platform for Za. This thing works amazing. She hopped up there on it and she hasn't left. And if you notice, she's sitting, okay? She's not sprawled out like that, or like this, or like this. When bunnies are hot and they're getting overheated, they'll stretch out, like legs in the front, legs in the back, and they'll just completely stretch out to get their bellies to get a breeze. But you know, she's not stretched out. She's just sitting there, upright sitting there, which means she's not burning up. She's warm. I mean, it's warm outside, but she's not burning up. And that plate is probably, oh my God, it's probably 10 to 15 degrees cooler than the plates in the other cage. I mean, you can literally feel it. I can literally feel it. So I'm going to call this a success. The bag that I put in there wasn't even completely frozen. It was just really cold water, because I only had it in the freezer for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. I've got several bags in the freezer right now. I'm going to let them freeze overnight, and then tomorrow, before it gets super hot, I'll put a bag in there, a gallon Ziploc freezer bag, and see how long it lasts. It's supposed to be in the 90s again tomorrow. But with it being insulated with that styrofoam, there's no reason it shouldn't last, at least 4 or 5 hours, maybe even longer than that, because it's in the shade and because it's insulated. And like I said before, what I plan on doing, since now that I know that it works, is the front half here, right above where the babies will be in the back of the nest, I'm going to cut a square out of the styrofoam on the bottom, because you notice right up underneath this is another ceramic plate or ceramic tile, and hot air rises, cold air sinks to the bottom, so that cold air should radiate down, right on top of the rabbits in the nest. So it's this could be something that's really cool. I'm gonna test it tomorrow, make sure it works really good. If it does, I'm gonna just go ahead and mass produce a bunch of them, and I'm gonna put one in each of the rabbits' cages. But today was all about Za, because today is day 30. She should have babies tonight, tomorrow night, the next night at the latest. They say 28 to 31 days. And she built the nest, you can see it, and she's acting pregnant. But I did hear from a couple different channels that in the heat of the summertime, the males can go temporarily sterile. When it's super hot, they just won't produce sperm. They can breed and have fall-offs and do the whole mating thing, the whole 9 yards, but they're shooting blanks. So that being the case, if he was shooting blanks in November, a month ago on June the 11th, she didn't know that. So her motherly instincts, her clock may have just went, all right, it's day 28, let's build a nest. And now she's just waiting to see if babies come. So it could be a false pregnancy because it was hot. But, I remember the beginning of June, it was warm, but it wasn't super, super hot. So it'll be hard to tell. Another thing with this cold plate, this cooling platform, whatever I'm going to call it, I'm going to put one in all the cages. So theoretically, if that cold plate can stay, 50, 60 degrees all through the summer, and they can stay on it, that'll be like a little, almost like a false atmosphere. I could even build the walls up around it and enclose that thing almost like a little doghouse, and they could basically have just like a little air conditioned room to just chill out without me having to legitimately air condition the thing. I don't know. There's just a lot of weird ideas that can work, that can come from this. But by looking at her, I can tell, I mean, it's cooled off at her a little bit now, but she's a lot more comfortable than she was earlier, because the first video you guys saw her, she was all stretched out, over here beside the thing. But then she figured out that it was cold up on that platform, and she hopped up there on it, and she has not come off yet. And so she's liking it. So that's the update. Stay tuned. Hopefully I'm gonna have some bunnies tonight or tomorrow. If not, it's probably a false pregnancy. That's good and bad. It sucks because I really wanted some baby bunnies, but it's a win-win because it's super, super hot, and I'd hate for them to come out and be born when it's hot and lose the mother or lose the babies. I don't want to do that. So whatever happens, we'll push through it and move forward and just wait a little while longer and breed so that she's having the babies when it starts to cool off. Other than that, that's it for the second update for the day. I guess this is the update to the update. We will talk to you guys later.